I really don't appreciate the censoring because, like, we're nothing without each other. We got to have conversations to be able to build, you know?
Right. The point that I brought up with Clockson is that if you were to just remove me off the table, do we necessarily have enough of the other things to feed the global population?
So you're saying for someone who meditates, it could actually physically help their physical health, like by meditating.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Like if you have
For me, it's like letting go has probably been the best thing that's ever happened to me because instead of me looking for the guru, I end up finding the guru in me.
It's going to be a byproduct of helping everyone else. Because when you help yourself, you're able to help other people. We're able to build together. It's going to feel like, dang, I just got to this new level, and now I got to deal with this, now I got to deal with this, and it's going to keep stacking on constantly. Use that as your pillar of strength to be like, wow, since these challenges are getting stronger, it must mean I'm getting stronger. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. Because the universe only gives you what you're prepared to handle. So even if something feels like it's impossible, it's only impossible in your mind. And so a lot of the important things that you guys want to realize when building is that no matter how grand the idea is, no matter how many people you have, it has to always start from yourself. Because if you don't get yourself right, you're not going to be able to build with somebody else.
See, that's because everybody know that, you know, the government coming after people when you talk too much.
Yeah. I mean, if nobody talks about it, then I mean, you know, it's gonna stay the same.
You know, Clausen, and I already told you this, but you were the person who inspired me to start writing my book. So I can focus and all of that, but you were the one who showed me in the midst of calamity and confusion and drama and chaos and all that shit, that's where all of your best work, or most of your best work, will come from.
People need dramatic examples to shake them out of apathy, and I can't do that as Bruce Wayne. As a man, I'm flesh and blood. I can be ignored, I can be destroyed, but as a symbol, I can be incorruptible. I can be everlasting. What symbol?
Clocks in.
clocks in.
What up, Clocks in?
Soul fam, clocks in.
Clocks in.
Clocks in.
Clocks in.
My homie.
Clocks.
The Clarkson sound like he need to come up.
Clocks in coming up next.
I clocks in.
Yo, Clocks in. Peace to the Universal family. My name is Clockson.
I don't regret this. You know, I used to regret the decisions that I made because I didn't understand where they would put me. But now I'm glad I don't understand. You know, I'm glad that my life is a empty canvas and I get to write whatever I want into that canvas to make it my future. You know?
Welcome to the Clockson Podcast. All right, peace, and love to the Universal family. Welcome back to the Clockson Podcast. We have another very, very special interview today. All right, I got somebody that's been one of my teachers for a while now on the low. Y'all don't really know, but like I've been learning from this brother for a minute now, and I really want to say like this brother. Not only is he like because you see people on TikTok and people on social media who teach about spiritual practices. This brother right here, he's not only is he a spiritual teacher as one title. You're an esoteric practitioner. You know what I'm saying? You talk about metaphysics on an actual realistic level, like I would say, what would you say in one of your videos? Applicable metaphysics. That's something that I really caught on to. And you're also a shaman. So without further ado, y'all, I'm here to humbly interview Hoodheru, also known as the Hood Healer. So welcome to the podcast, brother. How you doing?
Appreciate you, man. Thank you. I'm happy to be here, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful to share space with you and share gems. You know what I'm saying?
Likewise. Okay, so we're gonna get straight into it. Tell the people where you're from and just like the basics of your background and your upbringing. Like, how did you even get into the world of spirituality and whatnot? Like knowledge of self. How did that even start for you?
I've always been a spiritual man. I've always been one of the chosen ones that's connected integrally to spirit and to God. But like in my earlier life, in my earlier chapters, in my earlier lives, I always kept it in the background of my personality, meaning like, right now it's in the forefront of my personality. I am a spiritual man. Like I am very spiritual. Just how like Christians like to wear it as a badge of honor. I used to be ashamed of my spirituality, but going through catalyst of like trauma review, meaning like after shit crumbles and you look around and there's nothing left but you and your experiences and the mirrors of your mind, meaning your memories. At that point, you have to lean in on what you know to be true. And what I knew to be true for sure was my spirituality, my connection to God, and the messaging that was coming through me as seen as the lessons learned in my life.
Well, damn. Okay, then. So you were kind of always spiritual then. There was no specific point. You was like, boom, whoa, now I have it all. It was like an always type thing.
Always spiritual, but then it came to the surface when I was, you know what I'm saying? Let's talk like we, you know what I'm saying, boys then. Always spiritual, but I started practicing when I was motherfucking broke, alone, and heartbroken. You feel me, bro? Yes.
Okay. So that was like the key point. And so would you say like the trauma, that's what really made you click, like, you know, things that were going on in your life? Because like for me personally, that was this similar. Like when I hit 20, I had a huge state of depression. And that was kind of when I turned my life around and created the whole clocks and identity. You know what I'm saying? To kind of get out of that. Because I'm like, if I stay like this, it's going to be over with me. So if I either go this way or I just change my life completely. You know what I'm saying? So for you, what was that moment? Like what really made you decide, like, I want to really do this? I want to really commit myself, learn, you know, knowledge of self. Because anybody can say that, but like that actually takes a certain level of promise and discipline. So when did you actually decide, and why did you want to do that?
Similar to you, how when you like reach a certain point or reach a certain blockade, you have to pivot, and how you pivoted and sort of like creating this alter ego that then allows you to truly be yourself and transmute and express yourself as you are. That's what I experienced similarly, where I had an ego death, one of many that we all go through, where basically like this, bro. Everyone in society is hurting. Everyone in society is truly toxic in some way. Hurt people are hurting people, or people are tricking and lying and fronting and faking and capping, you know what I'm saying? They're hiding behind illusions and trying their best to do the work in the background while keeping up a face to society. When I first went through my quote unquote first ego death, that was the first catalyst, because I moved to LA from New York and I was single. I was broke. I moved out here for a business and the business failed. I moved out here for a relationship. The relationship failed. I moved out here for supportive family, and they failed me because, and check this out, they failed me not because they couldn't be there for me or wouldn't be there for me, is that they didn't know how. And that's one thing that we get fucked up with. We want to blame people. We want to train people on how to love us. We want to be rescued. But oftentimes people don't know how to save you. Only you know how to save yourself.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Back up.
Yeah.
So, well, all right. All right. We're gonna get back into that in a second, like, because I gotta sit on that. So, side note to this, how did you come up with the name Hood Healer?
Hoodheru. Heru is an offshoot of Horus, and Horus is the Christ figure, or Jesus, as you know. And so Hood Horus, or, you know what I'm saying, it's like Robin Hood, like the nigga that's from the hood, from the, you know what I'm saying, community. But my consciousness is raised into that of Horus or Heru or Jesus.
Okay, so it all makes sense. Okay. All right, so what's the practical way of how you got to? Like, did you just read a bunch of books? Did you just tap in? Like, how did you actually gain knowledge of self? Like, what was your personal experience?
Sure. You know, we could do this either kind of way, bro, right? We can.
Yeah, we can do it. Because like for me, I don't know, it was a certain guy I knew who's like, I consider him my master teacher. Once I started following him, that kind of shot my trajectory to where I'm at now. I started learning from different people. So that was like the starting point. What was the starting point for you to, like, that, you know, how you get to? Because like I see how you move, and I'm like, damn, what's the story behind that? How did you reach that level that you're at?
If I'm being honest, man, a part of me died. A part of me has died. And this, what you're seeing, is a brand new rebirth. If you're asking, like, how did I get to this point of wisdom and courage and activation of self? It's because something died and something was reborn. And I allowed that thing to die. I allowed that old version of myself to die. if you're asking who educated me or who guided me towards this knowledge, I would say spirit most high. I would say quote unquote God. I hate that word. Or I would say my higher self. I didn't have any mentors. I didn't have any guides. I was initiated. That's why I say, or that's why I know, and that's why my title is that of a shaman, because things happen in the psychology where you kind of like lose touch, you lose grip, and then regain it from a stronger standpoint.
Okay. All right, so let's go into that, because I know a lot of people in the spiritual community, they talk about the out of body experience, their spirit, even what you said earlier with the death, the ego death, and even the spiritual death. Could you break that down, like the difference between the physical vessel, us, and the spirit? Like what is the quote unquote difference in and how that conveys to people? Like for me, I feel the same way. Like in a way, I have this higher self that's not my physical body, but it's the spirit. But that is also me. There's not something mystical. That's me as well. And I'm actually not the physical body. I'm just inhabiting it. So could you break that down?
Most definitely. We have several different bodies. We got an emotional body. We got an auric body, so your aura field. You got a microbiome, which is the microorganisms that come up off your skin. You know what I'm saying? We have an emotional body, and we have our spirit body, the higher self. When we speak about an ego death, capitalism, society in general, builds people up to think that they are something that they are not. You know what I'm saying? It encourages and really pushes people to pursue lifestyles that are in misalignment. And so this requires shadow work, where you have to really go inside and look at the darker parts of yourself, because those darker parts are hidden because we have hidden them, because in exchange for things that we think we want. And so when I say when you ask what is an ego death, or why do people have to experience these sort of things, it's because people are allowing their ego to drive their life. And the ego is saying, you want this, you want that, you want this to keep you safe. You want a car to keep you safe from judgment. You want a girl to keep you safe, you know what I'm saying, emotionally. We want money and finances to keep us safe. But safety is found within. Freedom is found within. You know what I'm saying? Just like how you right now are taking it upon yourself, clocking the fuck in and making action happen for yourself. You are creating abundance. You're creating flow that's going to come back to you. You're not needing anything from your ego. You're all heart right now.
Wow. Okay. So, okay. Well, let's talk about the ego then, because I know a lot of people also get confused with these two things, with self-love and ego. So that's another question I have for you. I want you to break it down, like, especially as a fellow Aries, people always say, "Oh, we always in our ego. We're arrogant people." Well, not right. That's like the stereotype. But I really look at it as self-love. We choose to love ourselves. You know what I'm saying? That's big for us. We choose to love ourselves, especially when we get to a certain point. So could you break down the difference between self-love and it being confused with ego? Could you break that down, especially for people like us?
Most definitely. I think that a lot of people confuse self-love with self-aggrandizement, meaning like just dressing the body or you know what I'm saying, just like showing off the body. But self-love is actually a series of rituals and practices that love the self. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when I brush my teeth, that's a practice of self-love. I'm taking care of myself. When I give myself discipline, that is choosing the self over other things that I could be doing, right? Yeah, when I give myself comfort or freedom, or when I allow myself to fucking rest and not push myself to be productive, quote unquote productive, those are true self-love tactics, not motherfucking face masks and, you know what I'm saying, a steam bath and whatever the fuck. Self-love is truly taking action towards the self as you would take towards a partner out of love. Now, when people have to separate this from an ego, what I say, bro, there's nothing wrong with the ego. And you can't separate yourself from your ego. Just like I can't separate myself from my higher self, my emotional body, my auric body. It's all here. It's all in operation at this time. What we have to do is train the ego to be in service to us. So if my ego is trying to protect me, right? So I put on a face like, yeah, I'm that nigga. Or I put on something like, oh, I got money. This is the ego trying to protect me from judgment. But if I tell the ego, hey, I'm good, I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? I accept this. I like this. Then the ego will no longer try to protect me, and then I can just sit and relax without the ego saying, "Bing, bing, bing, alert, alert, alert." You know what I'm saying? Put on the show, put on the mask. I've alerted the ego. We're good on this. Thank you for trying to protect me.
Okay, so but how do we train the ego then? Because that sounds good, and it's easier said than done. And I always look at it like you were saying, each of our different bodies are used for certain purposes, right? And for example, I guess a lot of young people, their ego might be there to shield them from certain experiences, certain emotional states that they don't want to be in. So they use the ego to, cloud those. So like you said, we need to control the ego because it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Not control. We're not trying to control nothing.
Oh.
Train and, encourage like a little baby. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not control. Interesting. That's interesting. Okay, how do we train these emotions? How do we do that?
By stop competing with yourself and really listen to what you're going through and be a friend to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Too oftentimes we know what the fuck we're dealing with. We know how we're feeling and we know what we're processing through. But we keep putting those things in the back corner in exchange for perceptions, in exchange for acceptance from the external stimuli. But there's already a conversation happening inside of me. There's already a narrative and a reflection pool happening. So if your question was, how do we train the ego for the youth or for the young people? You got to stop giving a fuck. You got to stop thinking that people have a true impact on your wealth, your health, or well-being. They don't. They only impact you if you allow them to. And so the more that we become friends with ourselves, the more that we keep people at a true distance.
God dang, I gotta clap it up for that. Cause all right, y'all. I know y'all learned a lot, but so am I. And I'm baffled by these answers because I never really necessarily heard it this way. You got your TikTokers out there that just love to say things that sound good, but this brother has actually been through some things and experienced things. So that's why the wisdom that he's saying, it's like it really resonates. And I know y'all, it resonates with y'all too. So I really appreciate this conversation, brother. I really do.
Same, G.
So, okay, we're going to get into some of the big stuff. So you say on your videos, and I 100% believe it, you're a shaman. How did you reach that state? Because that's not nothing to play with. That's not no light state. How did you reach the state of shamanism? You are a shaman. How did you reach that?
Sure. So this is something I've been grappling with for years, right? But now I'm at this point where I have over nearly 50,000 followers on TikTok, over 6,000 on Instagram. I am legitimately in my position. I've got hundreds of people that are in my community that are active clients of mine. And so I'm now like, all right, yes, this is who I am.
Can't run away from it now.
yeah. Because it's so niche and it's so you know what I'm saying, unconventional. But just to break it down, like a shaman is essentially like a grassroots pastor or a spiritual preacher, someone who is able to be with the people right away, someone who can transmute and translate Bible verses and anything having to do with spiritual canon or literature so that it can be transmuted into applied metaphysics so we can really know what the fuck is going on. Furthermore, all shamans have a relationship to the interdimensional realm or spirit realm. And that's, if you're asking me how did that happen, it was a surprise to me. It comes online like as a gift where you're like able to hear and see the voice of God everywhere. And if you're saying, what is it like to be a shaman and a current shaman in this climate? I'm just a regular indigenous dude, with a highly advanced connection to source.
Wow. See, that's interesting that you said that because, like, how I break it down, right? Like, I study pre-mathematics for those of you to know that culture. And when I see those things, I see that as a high form of wisdom, right? And with that wisdom, you're able to bring certain levels of clarity to damn near everything you come across, And that's also what I embody. Like the second C in Clockson stands for clarity, It's my job to bring clarity to people when I'm talking to them, when I'm listening, no matter what it is. Like you said, break down Bible verses, just spirituality in general. You're able to bring that level of clarity as a shaman. So that's huge. Okay. That's huge. Because I never heard nobody break down shamanism like that. You broke it down to its bare bone level. It's just somebody who's there for the people and they can bring all those concepts to one.
To transmute the spirit realm is what shamans are all about. And the spirit realm is always found in our emotional bodies and in our psyche. And so demons or daemons, these are entities, active live entities with needs and wants. And so similarly, how they say misery loves company, these are spirits, and they can be equated to our emotions. And so if as a shaman I can help people understand how to exercise entities or spirits off of them, it's found first in your emotions and found in the thoughts that come up in your psychology.
Can anybody be a shaman?
I would say no, but if you are interested in it, then it is of your path. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody wants to be a shaman or is capable of being a shaman is a better question.
Okay. I got you. All right, so let's get into some of the let's into some real deep topics. All right, we don't get into trauma, childhood trauma specifically, and how to transmute that. We also gonna get into relationships in general when it comes to romantic relationships, friendships, family in general, right? I'm gonna get a little personal here. I don't usually do this on a podcast. We're gonna do it this time. What are your thoughts on? Are you into astrology?
Absolutely, bro.
All right, cool. So there's this term that I came across about a year ago called the Neptunian relationship, right? What are your thoughts on that? Could you break that down? Because it's something I experienced, and I want to hear your perspective on that.
I would hope that you can maybe educate me on the term.
Okay. Basically, from my perspective, it's a karmic relationship. Basically, you're supposed to meet this person on purpose for them to teach you a lesson about something, right? And the Neptunian relationship is like it all feels good. It's like, this is honeymoon effect. But
That's
afterwards, afterwards, it's like you get all the lessons just they hit you all at once towards the end of the cycle.
Yeah.
And that's basically what transforms you into the person you're supposed to be. And that Neptunian relationship isn't necessarily the relationship you're supposed to be in, which is why it hurts so much, because it's always going to somehow end in a way, even though you wouldn't think it would. So that's basically how I see it. But
that's exactly what I was assuming it to be, because Neptune has a lot to do with the depths of the seas. You know what I'm saying? Like Triton, like the water, Neptune. And that has everything to do with like examination of emotions. Like in spirituality, the emotions are translated as water or flow. Passions is fire. Yes. Abundance, energy is currency, is earth. And psychology is air. I see twin flame dynamics in relationships as catalysts of change, catalysts of abundance, catalysts of clarity, shadow work. I am a man that doesn't see a mistake in anything. You know what I'm saying? I believe that life is truly for us, happening for us and not to us, and that everybody that we experience along the path can either show us ourselves in different settings, right? Show us triggers, or give us lessons as seen as mirrors, meaning like you're showing me myself more and more, or you are reflecting to me what I am doing, right? What I really want to say is that everything is everything, and we can't put all our eggs in one basket when it comes to being saved or having an investment, a long-term investment towards anything outside of yourself.
Okay.
You don't want to have you don't want to feel like this is it. You know what I'm saying? In my life, this is what I was searching for. This is what
my one and only. No, we can't do that.
I mean, if it is, it is. And if it ain't, then it ain't. But either way, I'm good. I'm great. I'm grateful, moreover, and I'm made better. Right? So like what a great gift that is to have been made better and to be grateful for the experience. And so there's really no negative that I can foresee in those circumstances. But I hear you. The twin flame is the Neptunian relationship. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a harsh reality, but it's facts. You can't control anybody outside yourself. Some things are just gonna happen outside of your control. So, like you said, you just got to be content with yourself, and that is a gift that you can, what I'm saying. So, okay, I see
content
that.
For sure, content and always on the upward path. You know what I'm saying? Like truly loving yourself is like truly being like, yo, bro, like so. What's next? If I were to be talking to myself, like this is what we got for you next. Like if I'm being transparent and honest with you, yeah. I went along a hard path, bro, a hard path of solitude and loneliness, of financial hardship, of, economic hardship where I was in between careers and in between jobs, in between business building. I had to really face myself. I had to ask myself, who the fuck are you? What do you want? What can you do? What do you like to do? What do you need? You know what I'm saying? And what don't you have at this time in order for you to move forward? And then I had to cultivate all those things within myself. And so I say this all to say it's not a scary thing to be alone. It's very powerful. And then at the end of the day, once I kind of passed all those tests and graduated, I was given more abundance in my life. And I would say my girl right now is a reflection of the abundance that I can hold in my world. You know what I'm saying? My ability to create peace and safety for another person selflessly. My ability to truly, truly love myself so much that I'm able to articulate what love means for another person. You know what I mean? So it all started with self-love. I was never searching for anything.
That's deep. Because, okay, you had to look yourself in the mirror and admit to all those things. That's scary for some, man. That's scary for some. Because, like, a lot of people know the reality of what's going on, but they don't want to face that. So you had to face those harsh realities in order to fix them. So if you could give advice to somebody who's in that state right now, you're like in that state of darkness, some would say, you know, when everything's crumbling down on them and they don't want to face that reality, what should they do? Like, is it just as easy to just look in the mirror? Or what are some practical things they could actually do?
You have to ask yourself, who do you want to be in 2 to 3 years? Where do you see yourself going? And then how does that person behave? Will that person still be smoking weed, still be hiding from their emotions, still be burying themselves in vices? Or will they be, you know what I'm saying, substituting? And look, check this. Smoking ain't it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's just assisted breath work. You know what I'm saying? It's just a ritual. So who will you be in the future? How wise can you truly activate what you know from within and into your lifestyle of being? This is what I'll say to, especially to the younger generations. Don't be afraid of anything, especially don't be afraid of yourself. You should feel safe in your own mind and in your own emotions. Once you realize what it is that you're experiencing, you have no choice but to go along the journey. The journey is going to look ugly, man. It's going to look like this. Cha, 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 cha. Where it's going to say like, I'm lonely. What does that mean? That means I feel abandoned. What does that reflect to? Well, that means that I feel abandoned by whom? By my mother, father, friends, or lovers. How does that make me feel? It makes me feel unworthy. You see the steps that you have to go down just by acknowledging that one emotion? At the end of this, the fifth one is, am I unworthy? The answer is absolutely no, I am worthy. And so if I go along this journey, if I take it one step at a time, I land in power. I land with a gift. So if I can just encourage people to know that if you face your fears, you will be rewarded with a leveling up, psychological leveling up, and emotional fortitude. You will find the languages to navigate your way through what you're going through.
Boom. Okay. That's beautiful, brother. So now we're going to go into that. All right. We're going to go into the self-discipline, the evolving of the self, all that. All right. So I always teach people discipline is cool, but it's not really discipline if you can't keep it consistent, you know, because anybody can change one day and be like, yeah, I'm going to do all this. I'm going to eat right. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But then the next day they fall off. Right. So like you said, so right now, somebody listening to this is like, you know what? I want to do better for myself. I want to look in the mirror, accept the faults and change. But then the next day, their environment gets to them, the things around them, it all snaps them back to their old self. So I want to ask you, not only what are your personal, because we talked about rituals a lot, right? What are your personal rituals that keep you on that path? You know, what stops you from just becoming the random hobo on the street? It just, you know what I'm saying, loses everything. What stops you from doing that? What keeps you on your progressive path, like you said? And what are some practical things that people could do to keep them consistent? What are some rituals that they should be doing on a day-to-day basis to constantly evolve? You know, even though they might have a negative environment, because that's what I preach. First things first is to clean your environment up. People you're talking to, people you listen to, try to fix that, because they will influence you to go right back to that old negative stuff, even if you're trying to get out of it. So what are some things you can say to that?
Word up. Just to piggyback off what you were saying, I love that, man. We do need to cultivate our own personal cultures. You feel me? So like, what is your culture of success? Whether that's waking up at 4, whether that's posting 2 times a day, 3 times a day, or whether that's being transparent and authentic, that is your culture. That's the way you do your things. You know what I'm saying? For me, I focus on principles. So I'm not disciplined in like, you feel me? I'm not disciplined like, if a motherfucker eat meat, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Like my spiritual path is just foiled. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not caught up on like that. The principles are of integrity, ambition, love, intentionality. You know, these are the principles that I am disciplined towards. And so if I can apply discipline towards intentionality, meaning like be intentional, have discipline with being intentional with my words. So when I find myself mumbling, I slow down and I say what I mean. And that's showing discipline with the principle, but not in this physical discipline, right? Discipline ain't always got to be drop and give me motherfucking 50. It can be towards principles as well. The other thing that I was thinking of that you were saying is, well, just to follow up on that, discipline is very important because we are led in many different directions in society in subtle ways through marketing, through observations of our peers, through the trauma, our generational trauma. We're guided subconsciously. And so if you can have discipline with your principles and discipline with your culture, you will see that your life you will lead your own fucking life how you want to. You know what I'm saying? You will either choose veganism for the health benefits, for the frequency benefits, and not just, because I'm trying to save the animals, or not because, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? You will wake up in the morning and you will choose what new thing you want rather than sticking to a plan every day. If you can be disciplined towards self-love and how I'm feeling and self-awareness, checking in. You know what I'm saying?
Bingo.
I hope that makes it easier to be disciplined.
Mm-hmm. And that's crazy. He said the principle, because if y'all need help with that, shameless plug, y'all go cop the 8 principles of Clarkson. And, you know, I can help y'all with that too. Like, I'm big on that, y'all, because everybody talks about it. Everybody talks about those things, but it's like the hard part is sticking to it. You know, even me, I have problems like, dang, I should have been more disciplined on this thing, because we all slip up. It's natural. So I'm so glad you went into that.
But then if we could just examine that as well, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is a slip up? What if a motherfucker just needs rest? You know what I'm saying? What if I just need rest? Why I gotta judge myself and then deem it to be negative when I'm resting?
I'm not gonna lie, brother. That's one of my problems. I'm very, very, very strict on myself, and I do tend to judge myself a lot. So
word up.
Okay.
But I gotta give you this, bro. Real productive people value rest, because you know the value of when you're ready to get the fuck up and get to work. You know what I'm saying? You know how potent and how dangerous you can be when you in your blocks ready to, you know what I'm saying, run your race. Yeah. So you know the value of rest. Just like if I'm an athlete, I know the value of stretching. I know the value of eating the proper diet. So I just give that to you. You know what I'm saying? Hustler to hustler.
Okay. So I need to learn the value of rest. Okay. I could do that. I like that. Yeah. Because I do. When I go 100, I'm 100%. But I can't be 100% 100% of the time.
Exactly. And you can't give 100 if you're not feeling your 100.
Yeah.
And then, people, check this. People who are always busy, they aren't actually getting shit done. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, talk about that. Okay.
Nah, they are just putting on a show of, let me do this, let me touch this, you know what I'm saying? But how much are we truly moving the needle in the desired area? Yeah. So when you're putting on a show of, I'm busy, you probably aren't really getting anything fucking done. But when you really know what you got to get done, then you know the pacing of it. I got to do this little bit today, and I know I'm revving up for a big jump in a couple of weeks. I'm saving my money for a big investment the next week, you know what I'm saying, et cetera.
Yeah. Okay. So practically, we gotta discipline ourselves. What would you say, like, if you could give 3 things that somebody should do every day to just get them out of the rut and keep them in that positive upflow? What would those 3 things be to anybody?
Just be, stop trying, and stop lying.
What?
Yeah.
Why those 3? Why those 3?
Because, and this is a truth, a happy and whole, healed soul will naturally do what the fuck it wants to do. You will do what makes you feel joy. You will organically move towards the things that bring you happiness. So if we just stop and just be, you will be in the act of being, and being leads you to becoming. Just be. Stop trying. too often we wake up in the morning and say, okay, bing, today I'm going to try my best. I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to try to be a man. I'm going to be a business person. I'm going to try to be, you know what I'm saying? Stop trying, because then you're putting on another layer in front of what already is. If you already are a man, then you are this kind of man. You are a gentle, spiritual, conscious man. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to be fucking alpha men. This is the highest version of a male, spiritual men, us being in divine union with our feminine and masculine energies. So I'm already a manly man. Fuck you mean? You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to try. So we're going to just be, I'm going to stop trying, and then stop lying. Stop lying to yourself and stop lying about what you feel to yourself, which makes us lie to the world. All of those things are just removing blockades, and then you let the soul fly free. It's already down here to do what it's got to do.
That's beautiful, brother. That's a great Yoda says, either do or do not. There is no try.
Exactly.
Okay. I rocks with that heavy, because I be planning my day out so much sometimes. I'm like, okay, I gotta do this. I gotta have like 50 things I need to get done. I'm like, damn, it puts more pressure on me. Then on another day, I'll be like, I'm not doing nothing. But I'll naturally get so much stuff done just because I wanted to do it. I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, damn, I got more stuff done today freestyling it than I did on a structured day.
Word. That's what I call intuitive action. Intuitive action, where we just take action as guided by our intuition, by how the fuck we feel.
Intuitive action. Okay.
Excuse me for the cursing too, bro. If I need to tear it down.
Yeah, don't worry about all that. Okay. Intuitive action. We need to take intuitive action. All right. A few more questions and we're gonna wrap it up, brother.
Sure thing.
I always like to ask this for anybody I interview on the podcast. What is your message to the people, and specifically like one person? Let's say it's one person listening to this right now. They really need it. They're like 16, 17. What is one message out of all the things and all the experiences you've been through? What's one thing that you want to tell that one person?
That you are truly worthy and needed. You are irreplaceable and you are unique. And we are in the universe, which is a song. And so your part is very necessary in this verse. You know what I'm saying? I would say that for sure to everybody and anyone that I come across. You have impact. One soul can spark another. And as a unit, as a whole collective, we are strong. And so never, never doubt how worthy you are, for real.
Beautiful. Okay, brother. That's honestly, that's a perfect closing. I ain't gonna lie, that's beautiful. Okay, so tell the people where they can reach you, your social medias, and also what you have coming next in your journey.
Sure, man. You can find me on TikTok or Instagram at Hoodheru. Also got a podcast called the Inward, Onward, and Upward Show, or IOU. That can be found on Apple Music and Spotify. And up next, I'm taking a step back from being so visible in my spiritual you know what I'm saying?
Shamanistic duties.
Yeah. And creating products that can be vehicles for what I do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay,
so I got a shadow work journal coming up. I want to be hosting more in-person classes. I do mentorships and apprenticeship programs right now, but I want to do more of structured class programs. And then I'm releasing music as well.
Okay. So how can somebody reach you for those classes? 'Cause I'm sure people want to tap in with you one-on-one.
For sure. You can find the courses on my website, rightsofpower.com, RITESOFPOWER.com, or you can DM me.
Cool. All right. Like what I'm hearing, brother. Well, if y'all love the episode, make sure y'all like the video, subscribe, and comment your thoughts down below. If y'all love this, we might have to bring this brother back again, y'all, because he did drop so many gems, it got me frozen. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to internalize a lot of these things that he said. And I really hope y'all resonated with the message he was saying, because like that, man, I gotta watch this whole thing again. That's all I can say. I gotta watch the thing again. Yeah, I could learn a few things from this. Yeah, I'm glad we had a chance to do this build, brother. How you feeling about it? What's your perspective on it?
I feel great, man. I'm thankful for you. I'm grateful for everything that you represent. You know what I'm saying? Everything that the momentum that you're building for yourself is impressive and it's powerful, and it'll be very helpful for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Including you. I have faith in everything that you're doing. Thank you for bringing me on, bruh. Thank you for creating a safe space for these kind of conversations for our people and for men like us. Yeah. And appreciate it. I humble myself.
Appreciate you too, brother. As a fellow Aries, we need more of us out here. We really do.
Making shit up, making it happen.
But all right, y'all, that is it. It was officially episode 2 of season 2 of the Clocks and Podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in. More to come next time, y'all. Peace and love.